Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wooly Mastadon Creates Podcast, episode 11. I'm Tori, the host of The Crazy, also known as Victoria, and it is August 29th. It is a Thursday that we are filming today, a gloomy one at that. You can find me in several places. Probably most effective would be Instagram as Victoria Schwanke. You can also find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, Lilwestie. I am on Facebook, but I'm not as active there for the knitting stuff. And then also the blog, of course, woolymastadon.wordpress.com. I think that kind of takes care of all of the places you can find me. Definitely take a look there to see more of what's going on. But today we're just going to get right into the episode. I have quite a bit to share for a change, which is kind of cool. So we're going to hop right in. We're going to start with FOs. Holy cow, I have a lot of finished objects this week. It's kind of crazy. I got into a finishing kick for socks and a lot of other things, and I just was really making a lot of stuff, and then this last week it kind of tailed off. But while I was on the bandwagon of just knitting and crocheting all the time, I got quite a bit done. So the first finished object I have are actually Justin's socks, my husband's socks. These lovely things right here. The lighting is kind of terrible. I apologize. It's a gloomy day, but this is as much daylight as we are going to get. But anyway, there's two of them. Two beautiful socks on my vintage sock blockers. These were knit out of Patton's Croy in the blue raspberry colorway for the colors. And then the black contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs were knit out of Premier Serenity sock yarn in just their black colorway. They knit up pretty quickly, I will say. I think I knit these up in under a month. And they were really fun to knit. I liked the striping. I'm trying to think, what size did I knit these on? I knit Justin socks on a slightly larger needle than I normally do. US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needles. My only pair of sock rockets, Addy sock rockets. But yeah, these knit up really fast. I like how they turned out. He likes them. I haven't let him wear them yet though. It's been too hot. It doesn't matter. It's been too hot. But now I can gift them because they are completed. They are photographed and you have seen them. But these are fun to knit. I like them. I like the Patton's Croy. It's pretty tough wearing yarn. It's not super expensive, which is great, and it makes nice socks. So that is my first finished object. Yay! My second finished object is actually something that I think I had shown in the last podcast that I had started, or I've been hinting that I was going to knit this period, and it was another hat for my dad. This is knit out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. Is this the worsted or the sport? I believe this is worsted in the Noble Heather colorway. Let's see, I think this is a little more true to color. It's a very foresty, well not foresty, more evergreen type color. A little marled. It's a soft color. It's pretty soft actually for Wool of the Andes, so that's going to be nice for him. This is the Knit Picks mild ribbed hat pattern, I believe is what it's called. I'll have everything linked in the show notes. But I've already knit him 2 of these, so this will be his 3rd hat, and once I photograph this can go to him, and he's gonna love it because they are his go-to hats. So the one night I was like, I just need to finish this, and I worked on it, just put it on the needles, and just went, and I was able to finish this in an evening. So this is done, this is ready to go, and I'm happy it's off the needles. I mean, if I were kind of annoying, I could save this as like a Christmas gift or something, but I want him to have it for the winter season, which will be coming far too quickly. So that is complete and ready to go. Just throw it on the pile of knits down there, because there are more. But wait, there's more. I think I'm going to go out of order just because these are on top, out of order from my notes. But I also finished another pair of socks. I started and completed a pair of socks. I think, was it just in August? Or did I finish the last ones in July? I maybe did. But about 2 pairs of socks in 2 months is really good for me. But this is a pair of, again, toe-up socks. I always knit my socks toe-up with a forethought, afterthought heel. I don't remember what that's called, so please forgive me. If you know what it is, let me know. But there's technically a name for when you put the waste yarn in and knit the heel second. Last, I should say. But these were knit on US 1s. What is that size here? Oh, I'm looking 2.75, 2.25 millimeter needles. 2.25, I believe. And this is knit out of Knit Picks Felici in the dark side colorway. Just a really bright, kind of like rainbow color. Something nice for when the winter strikes and it's all dark and sad and I can have party on my feet. I love Knit Picks Felici. It's so fun to knit up. You just want to knit to the next stripe. It's always get to the next stripe, get to the next stripe. And these are done. I like them. They'll be great to wear in winter. Now that I've shown them off, I have to take a picture of them, but they will be complete. Again, nothing special here. Like I said, just my usual recipe, but I was really feeling knitting socks. And honestly, I think it's because I went back to my magic loop method for knitting socks. I was trying to fall in love with the 9-inch circular needles, and my gauge isn't accurate on those yet, and it just takes me longer to knit a row, and these I don't even have to look at. I can just wing through it. Yeah, I'm fiddling with the cord, pulling it back and forth because I'm magic looping it, but I'm so fast on those that I can take these anywhere and knit really quickly and just get a lot done. So I think that's why after knitting different methods for a while and I went back to this, it was like, oh my gosh, I fell in love with sock knitting again. So I want to try the 9-inch circulars again, but for a while I think I will be just letting those sit until I decide what I'm doing, because I want to like those, but it seems like I'm just preferring my magic loop method at this point. But that was actually a second pair of socks completed. On to some little things. It was really hot for a while there. It was constantly in the 80s. It was never cooling down, and we live in a top floor apartment of our apartment building, and so it stays hot up here. And so I wanted to knit stuff, and I didn't want to die knitting it because it was so warm. And every summer I do this for a little while. I just default and I go through my stash of miscellaneous cotton scraps, worsted weight cotton, 100% cotton yarn, and I knit and crochet a bunch of dishcloths and stuff. So I did knit some of my traditional dishcloths. I only have the one to show here. Let's see. I can't see if that, I think that's kind of where the light is appropriate here. That's pretty accurate. But I knit more than one of these, but I just have one to show right now because all the other ones I had already put away, either to give away as gifts or just to use later. But I ended up knitting quite a few of these. I think my mom maybe had actually picked out this yarn once. This is some Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. I'm pretty sure this one is because it's so soft. Theirs is really soft. And so I knit a bunch of dishcloths out of it. I may give them away. I may use them. I don't know. But they're just going to go in the pile for now. But I knit like 3 or 4 of these. I had started one, so I finished that one. And I think I knit like 3 or 4 more. So I knit quite a few of these. I always knit these on US 6s. That's a 4mm needle, right? Yeah. So that's what these get knit on traditionally. Every once in a while I'll drop down a needle size because my gauge just keeps getting looser and looser and looser. And I'm like, oh, probably need to drop down another needle size. But for now, that is done. I also was looking into some other things. And I know I had one more. I was thinking about how much waste there is with using like makeup remover wipes and everything like that when you remove makeup. And I tend to use coconut oil anyway to remove my makeup. So if I'm using coconut oil to remove the bulk of my makeup, why would I use a wipe on top of that when I don't really need to? I can just use face wash. So I decided to crochet up some makeup remover scrubbies. Ooh, I don't remember the name of the pattern. It was like, it's like a makeup remover scrubby is kind of what it's called. And the pattern is free on Ravelry. I will leave, again, it'll all be in the show notes. But I knit way more than what I have here, but I've used quite a few. And because I wear a lot of waterproof mascara when I actually wear makeup, it likes to stain the little pads. So I figured I'd just show you the pristine ones that haven't been tarnished by the mascara stains that are short of bleaching it, they're really not going to come out, which I'm okay with. This is what they're for. Oh, I lost one. I can sit on the floor. But yeah, there's two sizes. I've mostly been using this large size, but there's also a small size as well, which is pretty nice. But they're really handy. You can use them a few times, wash them out in between. I just, again, crocheted them with I have lots of scraps of worsted weight cotton. Not crochet cotton, but worsted weight cotton yarn that I just use, and I use it for washcloths, and whatever's left I just put into a bag, or I use it for a project. Whatever's left I put in a bag, and then when the motivation or inspiration strikes, I'll knit and crochet dishcloths. And so I made a bunch of these for myself. I probably have I have 7 here with the one on the floor. Probably at least 10 of these then that I made, and they're really nice. I like them. I've hardly used makeup wipes since. I don't wear that much makeup anyway. Sometimes I'll just wear mascara to work to keep my eyelashes out of my eyeballs. But then this just makes removing everything a little easier and a little gentler on my face. So I made a bunch of those. On these I used a 4mm crochet hook. So I really like the way that these turned out. So those are complete as well. Let's see. I have one final finished object. Let's see. It was while I was still going on the crocheting kick and the cotton yarn kick, and I was looking online for inspiration for what to make, because I wanted to make something a little bigger. And I was like, I want to make a market bag, just for fun, They can look really cool, and a lot of the ones online were cool, but I wasn't finding a pattern that I particularly liked or wanted. And so I decided to just wing it. I was doing a Google Hangouts chat with my friends the one night, and I just started crocheting, and within a few days I had a market bag. So this is the final product. Let's get back here. Can you see it? It's quite large. These tend to grow quite a bit when you make them, because I crocheted, I didn't knit it. I didn't want to knit one. And when I first started, I wanted to start with, let's see if you can see this, a circular bottom, because I wanted it to be sturdy, and I didn't want things to be able to easily fall through the bottom. Obviously it's a moot point, this is mesh, but at least there'd be some stability on the bottom. So I crocheted a circle. I was inspired by those puff stitches that are in that makeup scrubby pattern. So I just kind of winged it, and I made a bottom, and while we were in that G-chat, I was looking at the bottom. I kept making it bigger and bigger. I'm like, no, it needs to be bigger. At the end of the day, I totally could have made it smaller and it would have been fine, but I'm happy with it. And then I just continued with a double crochet mesh that I just came up with. I didn't follow any pattern. I did look at some other patterns online to see what people had done and to see different constructions, just to see how they built their bags. But I didn't actually crochet off of any patterns. I just looked at pictures and went, oh, that's probably a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't make this such a narrow opening, or maybe I should make the handles a little different way. So I did end up ripping out a little bit, and I ran out of this beautiful natural color. I think it's called ecru. I think that's what the yarn company called it, because I actually had 2 whole balls of this, and I used it up, and then I just chose another color for the handles and the straps. So I just chose to do a little bit of a raised strap here. As you can see, it's not all the way around that way, and then a longer strap so that it can fit over your shoulder if you were going to shop with it. And I like it. It's really handy. We have used it to go shopping already. I'm terrible and I forget all of my reusable grocery bags in the car all the time. But I actually remembered to bring this in because, when you go into an Aldi, you either bring your own bags or you put everything in the cart and throw it in the car. So I actually remembered to bring this with me, and it was great. It was great for holding the cereal boxes and boxes and things like that. And I'm sure it'll be great for produce and everything like that. So I am quite happy with it. Again, didn't follow a pattern, just winged it. But I am pleased with how it turned out. So that is that. That is my final finished object. how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, technically 6 finished objects, although a lot of them are really small. But hey, that's a lot of finished objects for not normally having any. Alright, so things maybe have changed a little bit, but we had a slight battery die here. And unfortunately, there's going to be a little more background noise because of where we live. But hopefully everything you'll be able to hear everything just fine. I apologize for any of that extra static noise that you might get. But what I was saying was I had finished with my finished objects, and I was going to move on to works in progress, which I have quite a few, and figure we'll probably just dive right into the one that you've already seen, which would be my Tanya by Caitlin Hunter. And actually, I've gotten quite a bit farther on this since you last saw that, because a week ago or so, a little over a week ago, we went to my grandma's to visit, and we had a few rainy days there. We couldn't go swimming because, in Wisconsin, a lot of lakes get this in summer, but when it gets really hot, they get that terrible algae bloom on them, and so you really don't want to go swimming unless you were planning on getting very sick. So we couldn't go swimming, but we did a lot of, we went to town and we helped her out with some chores and groceries, and then we just kind of hung out at the house for a day or a day and a half or so in between things. And I knit, so that's when I finished my socks. I finished my pair of Dark Side Felici socks, and then I really busted through on this Tanya, and you're not even gonna be able to see how far I am. It just looks like a lump right now, but for now, can you see what I'm doing? I don't know. I might not be able to see anything. But the nice thing is I've already divided, like, to start forming the top part, like the bust area and the sleeves. And when we last spoke, let me see where this frog is here. Let's see if I can show that to you. I don't know if you can see the frog there. That's where I had finished last, was at that frog. So I had knit all of this lacy section here, and then I got all the way to here, and then actually over time, but mostly actually in my grandma's, I knit here, and then I knit to where you start working front and back. And I don't remember which one they have you work first. It might technically be the back, it might technically be the front, but I am way farther than I was before. And quite happy with the progress, actually. I'm excited to have this. It'll be ready for next spring and summer. But that's okay. I'm getting pretty far on this, and I'm slow going on sweaters. I'm going faster than I expected, but I am still slow going on sweaters. This is knit out of Knit Pick Stroll Hand Paint in the Sunny Afternoon colorway on US 6 4mm needles. And yeah, I'm really liking how it's turning out right now. I'm definitely going to have to do a solid blocking, because now that I'm not just, not just knitting in the round anymore, my knit and purl rows aren't as clean and precise as my all knit rows in the round. So it will definitely need a blocking when it is complete, but of course it's going to need a blocking. It's got like a lacy edge. So and for anyone who's curious, I am knitting the 2X size. So it's going to be loose fitting, but maybe not as loose fitting as they suggest on me, because I don't like looking like I'm wearing a bag, but I think it's going to be really cute. That is my first work in progress. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it at this point. So hopefully the next time you see it, I'll be quite a bit farther along than I am now. So that would be cool. So we're going to set that aside. My second work in progress is, and you probably are guessing this already, of course, it is a sock. It is a wee bit of a sock. I'm dropping things. Ooh. It is a wee bit of a sock. It is just a toe. The toe is technically complete, and now I can just knit around and around and around. Come on, I really can't tell if this is getting completely washed out or not. I apologize. It's a very, very cloudy day, rainy day. It has been for the past few days. Fall is ready to set in, and I wanted to make sure that I got this out in August. I'm so excited. I'm keeping to a schedule. It's exciting and empowering. But I have a toe. This is knit out of Red Heart and Soul in the Sorbeto colorway. I think it's really cute. It's not striping or anything at this point. This is some yarn that I had gotten on clearance at like a Joann's or a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's several years ago. And I was like, oh, it'll make cute socks. And I have like all this beautiful higher end sock yarn and stuff that I could be knitting, but I was just like, you know, I knit the other ones. The Lake House colorway was the other yarn I got of that kind. So I should just knit this up too and have some really awesome socks. So I'm knitting these. My plan is just to do my regular recipe, toe up, put in a yarn for the forethought, afterthought heel, and then knit away and then add the heel after the fact. Let's see if I've got the yarn sitting here. Yep. I balled up my yarn because I just find it a little easier to ball it up like this than to have it sitting in that pre-cake, the store-made cake. And it just reminds me of my mom because my mom didn't mind doing it. So that is my second work in progress. I'm enjoying it. I really haven't gotten very far. I started this probably over a week ago just so I could make sure I had a project I could take on the go easily. And obviously I just haven't been working on it. We'll get into that later, but that was my second work in progress. My third and final work in progress is going to be a hat design. I have ribbing. And that's all I have right now. It's this really bright pink yarn. I think this is probably Red Heart with Love. So it's I know it's 100% acrylic for sure. This might be more accurate here. This might be more accurate. But it's a really vibrant fuchsia, bright hot pink. And I'm looking into designing some hats to sell, the finished products at a local flower shop actually. She asked if I'd be interested in selling some things, and hopefully, if all works out, I'll be able to bust some hat prototypes out for her to see, and if she's interested, I might be selling some hats in a local shop. I mean, I've never done this before. Normally I'm a selfish knitter in the sense that I like to knit on my time and do what I want to do, and I don't necessarily pander to my audience unless it's family. Like, I really don't knit for people unless they're really close friends or friends like family or family. But you know, it wouldn't hurt to use some of the stash I currently have, which I do have some things like this, where this is a little softer, this is a little nicer. You could throw it in a washer. Like, I should be knitting with wool, but I feel like when it's going out into the world, and it's going to probably go to people who don't knit, I'm more comfortable knitting out of acrylic or a nicer acrylic or something that's soft, because then I know when they inevitably throw it in the wash and don't read the care instructions, it'll come out just fine. So that's my thinking on that. But I have ribbing. I have picked out some stitch patterns that I'm thinking about using for it. I just haven't gotten there, and I really need to get on this. Because I've also considered purchasing some of those like faux leather tags off Etsy where you can get your logo on it and then attach that to the hat, because I think it just makes the hat look that much more put together, that much more stylish. Like, it's that finishing touch that just makes the piece. And I've never done that before. I mean, I'll have to shell out a little bit, but not too bad. And I would love to put the Wooly Mastadon logo on it. I think that would be really cool. But I need to find a good shop to do that. One that's not the most expensive, not the cheapest, that's got a good shipping rate, and that won't take months and months to get. So we'll see here if I end up doing that or not. But I would love to do that. So if you have suggestions, let me know where to go for that, because I think that would just be the perfect finishing touch. I am knitting this hat currently on a US 6 4mm, of course, and I believe I'm probably going to go up a needle size when it comes to the body of the hat. So we'll see how this unfolds. But that is my last work in progress as I chuck it unceremoniously on the floor. Let's see, what is going on next? Upcoming cast-ons. It's going to be the same story that you've been hearing for months. I want to knit a shawl. I have to start one. I haven't done it yet because obviously I go, ooh, shiny, and I knit everything else. But I might have some inspiration for that coming up here in a minute. I also want to knit that party top. I've shared that before. I still want to knit that. I don't have the yarn for that though, so that's probably just going to be a someday I'll knit this because I think it's cool. I just don't have the materials to do it right now. And then I also want to knit my dad some socks. I purchased that camo-ish yarn, Patton's Croy, a while ago. The only thing stopping me is I need to measure how long his feet are, and I'm probably going to do that today when we see him later. So that would be the last thing that I want to cast on. So I'm just looking to make sure I don't forget anything here. So with that, we'll move on to stash enhancements. I actually have some. So let me bend it down here and reach out the goodness that is my stash enhancements. Like I said, we went to my grandma's this last weekend. Feels like years ago already, but I think it was just no, it was 2 weekends ago. That's why it feels like years ago. It wasn't this last weekend, but the weekend before. We went to my grandma's and we spent a few days there, and on Monday we did a trip to Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and on the way back we took the back roads and stopped by St. Germain so I could go to Just Yarnin', which is a amazing yarn shop in St. Germain, Wisconsin. So if you're ever in that area, you should definitely check it out. The owners are amazing. Even my husband loves to go there because normally they have a standard poodle chilling and he's just the friendliest little puppy ever. It just makes the experience so much nicer. They're just so friendly. They'll let you browse if you want to, but if you want to just chat through the whole situation, they'll chat with you. And I really like that yarn shop. They have a good selection. They have some indie dyed yarns. They have some more mainstream yarns, and it's just a good mix. And the projects that come out of that yarn shop, the people that are knitting them, it's pretty cool what they do. But I was browsing, and I had kind of been saving some money, so we splurged a little bit. And I saw this. This is Malabrigo Machita? I'm not sure how you say that. But it's this beautiful, I believe it looks like a single ply wool yarn. Will it even let you see how beautiful and amazing this actually is? Oh, let's get it back in the light a little bit. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. But it's actually called, the colorway is called Storm. And that is exactly what it looks like. It's this beautiful blue and white and gray and a little bit of brown speckled goodness. And it's just so beautiful. Oh, it's amazing. And I actually got 2 of them because I'm probably going to knit this into a shawl, and I want to make sure I have enough, even if I combine it with something else, I want to make sure I have enough of this yarn to actually do something nice with, because I know it's not my neons, it's not my normal neons, but I just saw it and I was looking at it, and they almost had a sweater's quantity of it, but there's no way I could afford that. So I got 2 skeins, and I am going to knit a beautiful, beautiful shawl out of this, I think, at some point. So that was my first stash enhancement. And then my second and final stash enhancement is a skein of 3 Irish girls. And this is their Adorn Luxe, and it's you keep us in stitches. So this was one of their yarn shop special colorways, and they are the Just Yarnin' carried a bunch of these. I think I actually have another one because I remember us talking about this like last time I went. But it's this beautiful colorway. It's got neons and grays, so it's like the neon turquoise, the neon orange, or not neon orange, neon yellow, and pink and peach and just white, and it's so beautiful. And I actually picked out the skein with more neon yellow in it because I love the highlighter yellow. But I got 1 skein of this. It's like a sock yarn. It's a 2-ply, 3-ply. I think it's a 2-ply. I can't tell. It's very plump, so it might be a 3-ply. But I love it. It's super soft. You can tell I don't know what I'm talking about with my plies. But I love it, and I'm so excited to knit with it. I see myself putting this into a shawl. I just don't know. I love this kind of yarn for socks, but I just want to show it off on my body somewhere where people will see it instead of just on my feet and my shoes. So at this point, it's going into a shawl. We'll see if that's what ends up happening, but that is my stash enhancement. I was so excited to go into that shop. I spent so much time there. But I got some yarn. My last thing would actually be some non-knit loves this week. We went to a few stores while we were in the Rhinelander area, and they have a great Goodwill. So we'll start with this. This is a little weird, but I got myself, they had it at Goodwill, a beaker water bottle. It was really cheap, and I noticed the problem was there's like a little crack in the handle, but I'm literally just gonna, once I wash this, I'm gonna just take hot glue and fill it in, and it'll be fine. Like, I was just really excited because I've always wanted one of these. And so it's in this really nice, like, purpley periwinkle color. And so I got myself one of those. It's a glass water bottle. Can't go wrong with that. I also got, they had one lone cow salt and pepper shaker. And if you've been around here for any amount of time or seen my Instagram, you know I collect cute salt and pepper shakers. If I think it's cute, I'll get it. I don't collect them just for the sake of collecting everything that I can get my hands on. I have to think it's cute. So I'm not really going here for monetary value or sell back value. I'm just going for kitsch factor and the fact that I think it's cute. So there was this cow. It was the only one they had. He was all by himself. He was very sad, and I had to buy him, and my husband loves cows, so I thought it was perfectly fitting. I love cows too, but I thought it was adorable. So I got the cow. He came home with me. And then when we took, my grandma needed to go to Dollar Tree, and so we took her, and I found this bag that says no problema, and I thought it was adorable. So I got that. And back to school season, you guys. I haven't gone back to school since I graduated college 5 years ago now. But the school supplies get me every time. You can tell that I'm in the artsy field and the craftsy field because I get sucked into the school supplies. It's like, don't look at the light. I want the school supplies. So, am I getting cut off? All of a sudden it looks like I'm getting cut off. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. Like, my camera, I can sort of see, but I can't. But I just love all the school supplies. And they have these two really cute pencil bags. So this one says hello, and it's just a zebra. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. Maybe back here you can. Oh, this light is terrible. I'll stick my hand behind it so you can see it. And then the other one was have a nice day, and it was just this bunny. So if I hold it in front of my face and do this, you'll probably be able to see it. But it was really cute. I like these. And they're like a natural color, just with a regular zipper on the top. I haven't even taken the tags off yet. And they're for a binder. So I could throw it in any of the binders I have for paperwork and stuff, because that's what you use binders for once you get older. You use them for paperwork and everything else. Although I use them for like recipes and things like that. But that's a whole nother tangent. But yeah. That was kind of like my non-knit loves, the extra things that I obtained while we were out of town. We also went to one of my favorite, actually, so we'll just say we're cycling the life lately. So if you don't want to deal with this, thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in. They're kind of lifting the sound of the annoying tanks outside, but, well, tanks, it sounds like it's a military operation. No, it's like a welding place. So it's getting louder, but we're just going to plow through with life lately so we can enjoy this day. Like I said, we went to Rhinelander. We went to Eagle River to visit my grandma, and then we went to Rhinelander to go shopping and get some stuff done. And we went to one of my favorite grocery stores, Golden Harvest Market. They sell natural, organic. They make a lot of stuff in-house. They sell a lot of bulk spices and teas. They sell natural and healthier for you beauty products and body products, essential oils, all that stuff. I love all that stuff. And I love going to that store. So we went there and just browsed, and I stocked up on a lot of my face products and stuff that I can't buy up here because I try to get a little more natural. And their prices are really good. I mean, the price of the stuff I'm buying is the price of the stuff I'd buy at a Walmart. But it's better for you. So, you can't argue. And we hung out there and shopped and went around town. And so that was nice. Actually, I believe shortly after I filmed my last podcast, I think it was, my friends actually came up here. And so we went, they got an Airbnb on the water on Castle Bay, and we hung out and we had s'mores and we dyed our hair. This is kind of like the aftermath of it. It's not as purple anymore, but it's still red. And we went kayaking and swimming, and it was just so much fun. It was very much needed and so much fun. And then as it's been going into this last week, I mean, I kind of kicked back into work mode. I'm always at work. I mean, that's one of those things, but it's slowly making its way into fall. It's more dreary outside. It's a little darker. It's raining more, and it's cooling off. And I don't mind the cooling off part. I know we'll have some more summery days soon, but I'm actually kind of ready for fall. I'm not ready for winter by any means, but I'm ready for fall. Fall is always my mom's favorite season, and I honestly think it's my favorite season too. There's just that anticipation of you can go outside, and it'll be in the 60s and 70s during the day, and you can enjoy your day. Early fall, and then you can come inside, or at night you can put a nice warm sweater on and cozy up by a fire and be completely comfortable in those extra layers. Or you can cozy up on the couch with an Afghan and a book and not melt into a puddle in a hot tea. And then as the crispness of fall just slowly sinks in and the leaves turn, oh, I love it. Not a pumpkin spice latte fan, though. You don't have to worry about that. I can't do it. I don't like coffee, and I'm not that into pumpkin spice. So I'm not that person. I'm not ready to give up on fall or on summer completely. I'm just ready for the slightly cool summer days that transition into fall. But let's see. I think with me rambling all about stuff that doesn't matter, I think that's about it that I have for you this week. I had a lot of things to share. My knitting and crochet mojo has kind of tanked this week, but I've been a little tired with the weather and work and everything, so I'm hoping to get that back up and where it needs to be. But otherwise, I think that's about it. Hopefully this next month I will have quite a bit more to show you. It's cooling off, so I want to knit more. And that's getting even louder, so I think with that, it's time to end this. You can remember the most easy place to find me would be Instagram is Victoria Schwanke, Ravelry, lilwestie, lilwestie, and of course the blog woolymastadon.wordpress.com, and on YouTube here where you're watching me. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next month with another episode. Bye. Alright, and then stills. All of the stills!